Click, 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 click. I'm going to do something different for this video. It's not quite a tutorial and it's also not quite a performance. Somewhere in between. I mean, you might learn something, but basically I'm just going to make some music, get a bit creative, and then maybe perform something at the end. With the help of my Hydrasynth, I prepared some short loops to write some lo-fi electronic-y music with it. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this one, but we'll see where we end up. I split the loops up into left and right channels so that I can perform them via separate tracks. I did a video on this quite recently, there'll be a link in the description if you want to see how it's done, but it's fairly simple. And I'm using drum samples from cymatics, so kicks, snares, claps, clicks, percussion, what have you. I've even got vinyl sounds, birds singing. I might use the birds actually, they're pretty good. So right now I'm just selecting the sounds that I want to drag into my project. I think I'll fast forward this part because it's actually kind of tedious to watch. While I fast forward through the boring bits for you, I just want to say, if you learned something or for some reason you enjoy this video, then please feel free to, press the like and subscribe and all that stuff, all those buttons down below. It really helps me out and it makes me feel good inside. So yeah, thank you. Okay, so I've loaded all my samples. I think I'm going to try and start with the warp machine. I'm going to load up the left channel of my first loop. Just set the pan and the amps up. That's kind of fast. That's faster than I intended. I want 90 BPM because that's how I recorded it. Now I just need to copy this to track 2. So they both have the same settings. Gonna switch that to the right channel sample. Set the panning to the right. Decay infinite. Turn the volume up. Okay, so this sounds okay, but there's a weird clicking that happens when you use the warp machine like this. I tend to only use warp while drums are playing, that way you can mask the clicking sound. It's a bit of a pain. So I guess what I'm going to do is set this to one shot, just use it old school pre 1.5 style. That's much better. So let's start with this. A nice little piano loop that I recorded. It's actually twice as long as the entire sequence. So I'm going to set the scale to 1/2 for my 2 tracks, and I'm going to set the master length to, 128. Quick maths. So if my maths is right, we should be able to loop through the entire thing. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, cool. So now that works, we're gonna work on track 3. Track 3 is gonna be my bass. So I'm just gonna load up the bass. It's gonna be a one shot. All the settings are pretty much as before. Infinite, decay. Half scale, set a trig on the first beat. There we go, nice and deep. Bit loud though. I can hear the Digitakt is starting to crackle, so I'm just gonna play with my levels a little bit. That's it. Now we're gonna record in some kick. If you saw my video about the octatrack drum template, you'll know that I'm not the best at programming drum beats. I'm trying my best to learn, but I do think it's the most tedious part of making music, but also the most rewarding. So I'm just sticking some snares in now. Copy and paste those bad boys. I like to program everything on the beat and then just play around with the micro timing. It gives it a much more natural feel. Doing that to the snares. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward all this. I'm adding hi-hats, percussion, all that kind of good stuff, but it takes ages and I don't want you guys to sit there forever watching it. This is the result. It's not bad. Okay, so now I want to copy pattern 1 and paste it onto pattern 2. I'm going to make a variation of the same beat. This time I'm going to use the warp, because I know I've got programmed drums and they can mask that weird clickiness that comes with warp. So I basically just need to set the amount of bars. I like to increase the segment size. And now what I'm doing is I'm adding trickless trigs. I think they're called trickless trigs, I can't really remember. I'm adding trickless trigs to affect the playback style. I'm going to speed all this up because it's actually quite boring. But the end result will be some kind of glitchy but hopefully musical loop that is a variation of what I originally recorded. I tend to use warp mode quite a lot like this. You can get some really creative results. Yeah, see, that's nice. And I couldn't have done this from a performance because I don't know how to play keyboards in reverse. There's those birds that I mentioned. I'm adding them in. Just adding some reverb, turn the volume down. I might add a bit of delay as well. Pitch them down. Check that out, that's lovely. Nice, I like that a lot. Alright, pattern 3. This time we're going to go to the B section of this piano that I recorded. Sounds like this. I'm just using an LFO on these birds so that I can pan them left and right slowly. Add more space to the overall mix. Add some delay as well. I mentioned it earlier but I forgot to add it in. Alright, so pattern number 4. This is going to be a variation of pattern number 3. Or will it? Maybe I should enter an entirely new section. I've got other loops. Yeah, that's nice. There's the pads. So alongside the pads, I've also got some square lead. Nice. Wow. Alright, I'm just going to speed this up, but I'm going to do another variation and see where we end up. Variation of warp. Let's make a new pattern. This time we're going to play around with slices. So we just load a sample in, tell it we've got 16 slices. We're going to set up the sequencer like this, every 2 beats. And then secret, just create random locks and see where you end up. That's nice. I like that. Just before I do a performance, I think I'm gonna mess around with the pads using slice mode. The cool thing is because I'm randomizing the left and right channels independently, there are some times when they both play the exact same thing at the same time, and I really like how it comes together. So I'm just going to mess with the filtering with LFOs before I perform and go. There we go. We wrote a song in one sitting and improvised a performance. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Love you. Bye.